So again, back again, I'm just going to complete up the what I was saying about the earlier one. For some reason, yeah, the video just stops. The world of gremlins within technology, and so that's a challenge I face too. Is that I'm a psychologist, and I got to figure out YouTube and how to get those up and all these sorts of things, and how to change the family courts and how to motivate everybody around. I'm just one person, okay, and I'm just going to go back to being one person, and looking at my situation and writing out the next 5 years of my time here. And if I get a little extra time after that, yay! But it's not going to be being used and used up, exploited by the various systems and abused by the various systems. That you have a good clinical psychologist. You have an excellent clinical psychologist in the family courts, in me. And if you're going to abuse the clinical psychologist of my caliber when I come over here, what are you going to do to lesser clinical psychologists who don't have my old age and kind of thing? If you abuse the psychologists who come work with you, they will not come work with you. That's just a fact. And you will get exactly what you have, which is the lowest quality of professional services that solves nothing. And so that risk management response in the 1980s of creating your own special psychologist is a failed model in service delivery. The professional psychology needs to go back and reevaluate how to deal with the dangerousness of this pathology in the family courts and to protect psychologists in a different way. And the way you do that, two ways. One is you structure everything up really highly so that we're all doing the same thing and reaching the same accurate diagnoses and treatment plan. And it should be a diagnosis and treatment plan. We don't, doctors should not be deciding on custody. It's diagnosis and treatment. We need to get back to that. We need to give the courts an accurate diagnosis and an effective treatment plan. The second way we protect ourselves is we require the highest standards of professional competence. If you're doing the highest standards of professional competence, you'll be safe. Okay, but that means you got to know a lot. So ultimately, 5 years after I'm dead, 10 years after I'm dead, this field of court involved clinical psychology, that's what it is, court involved clinical psychology, will be one of the highest caliber of subspecialties within psychology. Right now, the highest caliber is early childhood mental health. You need to know a lot. You need to know all about the brain development and language and cognitive systems, emotional systems, just all the various brain systems, physical, sensory, motor, for the first year of life, 6, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, and then 3 years and 4 years, how each one of those systems is developing across and integrating across the first 5 years of life. Early childhood mental health is an immensely um, high level of competence. I have that. I know how the brain works. That's why my ABPA or the high road ABA intervention, my therapy, you'll see my therapy ripples in the child across days. So I do something in 1 hour and that child is processing it through several days. The reason I can do that is because I know how the brain works. So I'm actually tweaking brain systems. There's not a psychologist out there who does that. I can. But I come in with this degree of knowledge and expertise as a clinical psychologist, and I get hit with licensing board sanctions from Oregon for practice in Oregon without a license because I'm consulting with Dorsey in Southern California. But her clients in Oregon, they want me gone from Oregon. I have to face those sanctions. I have to face the cross examination of trying to slander me and go after my license. I've got flying monkeys around me who are trying to, damage me and hurt me, and I have to deal with all this abuse from the court system. For what? The court just simply delays cases and doesn't doesn't act on the child abuse or spousal abuse anyway, and there's not a single psychologist who wants to solve it or family law attorney who wants to solve it, except for their individual cases. So whatever. If that's if that's your system for solution, that's going to produce no solution. I anticipate everything's going to start crashing, and I can't stop it. So courts need diagnoses and treatment plans. They're not going to be able to get them. Parents need competence, and they're not going to be able to find it. What you do about that, I have no idea. I would suggest you start filing malpractice lawsuits. I suggest you get a class action lawsuit. I suggest you get major media to get over here and talk to me, to develop a story about what's the corruption here. I suggest you get on the APA as to why they haven't answered the petition to the APA. I start getting on your forensic psychologists in the AFCC as to why they're not talking about delusional thought disorders in the family and why their levels of competence are so abysmal. Talk to them. Okay. For me, I'm kind of organizing a different direction for me in these last few years. From my perspective, I died in 2020, and I died in 2020 because 40% of you out there viewed it was more important for you not to put a mask over your face than my life. When you decided not to put a mask over your face, that cost me my life, and that was more important to you. So okay, I get it. I get my relative value to you. So yeah, I died in 2020. So now I'm going to go have the last few years of my life and take it. I've deserved it. I've earned it from a lifetime working with serious trauma people, ADHD, not ADHD, although that's a difficult situation for the kids. But the suicide prevention, when I started, major psychiatric disorders like schizophrenia, that's terrible. When you have a child and all of a sudden they develop schizophrenia at the age of 20, that's a tough thing for a family to go through. Cancer, children with cancer, children with spina bifida, children in foster care, children with autism in those families. And now here in the family courts for the last 10 years. Solving things by myself. Not a single person has come up and said, how can I be helpful, Dr. Childress? And so I say parents have come up occasionally say, how can I be helpful? But not a single professional has come up to me and said, how can I be helpful to you? So I'm doing it all out here by myself. And the Gardnerian PAs people are fighting against me. The forensic people are fighting against me. They want to keep the situation exactly as it is. And the attorneys are inert. They don't do anything except for their case, and they don't start looking at more systemic lawsuits. You get migrants who are shipped up to Washington, D.C. or New York or something. They get a lawyer and file lawsuits against that. But you guys are given the worst possible psychologists, and you must use them by mandate of the APA and AFCC and everybody. And you can't figure out any sort of applicable lawsuit. I just don't think you're trying. And where's 60 Minutes? Where's Dateline? Where's all these people? I don't know. Don't know. So until people get motivated, I'm going to kind of take care of myself. I'll still be in the family courts. I'll still be helping out case by case. I think it's a stupid way for me to educate the court is one judge at a time. But if that's how you want to do it, if you want me to educate one judge case by case, okay, we'll do that. But I'm not putting Mr. Pippin in a kennel again. Okay, no. That from this point on, no, you don't get to abuse me. And things are shifting. We're passing care. I'm out of the mental health system at this point. I'm just doing my second opinion evaluations. And I've entered the legal system as a testifying expert. And so that's what I will ride out my professional career over the next few years, as being a testifying expert in the family courts on a few cases that maintain my practice. I'll write some books and do some YouTubes and things like that, and finish off my time here on the planet. And then what you guys do about the family courts is a you problem. Okay, so we're passing Karen here, and letting you know, So with that, I'm out of here. I'm just going to go collapse. I'm feeling sick. I've got a place I got to put together, and spend some time with Mr. Pippin. So with that, take care, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.